All right, Kingsley. We can't avoid this topic anymore. It's been a kind of a glaring issue this week. But I want to start out with our impressions of Ash and Iron. And of course, after that, the Bungie live stream. I want to start out that by that pointing out that when I signed in to play Ash and Iron on Tuesday, it has zero story content. I mean, I was expecting a patrol area on the Plague Lands and, some kind of continuing storyline that they weave into the new destination, which ironically, I can't find the Plague Lands. I don't know if you found it, but I couldn't find it. I didn't see it on the map anywhere. And even if it isn't a patrol area, I thought it'd be an explorable area at least. But I did try the newly updated Mida multi-tool. I quite enjoyed how it goes through the stages as you kill more enemies. I don't think it'll do very well in Crucible. You'll never get to the stages by the time you get enough kills. And I like seeing the return of the mini multi-tool as well. I'll probably use both of those together, and I got some decent rolls with that. But I jumped in looking for the place to go, right? This is the new season. This is the new update. And I was looking for somewhere to go to start seeing some kind of story or some kind of story mission. Anything. And all it said was to go to Devrim K. And I'm like, okay, we'll go to Devrim K. Went to Devrim K. He says, go complete this initial mission, which you have to go through the portal in the special event to get to it. And I got to say, the mission that they had on the tower was fantastic. I loved it. It was new content. Went all through some back areas of the tower that we haven't been before. Some areas we had been before in past missions, but ran through it, killed everything, had a great time, even got some really good loot. I got the rocket launcher and I got the new Mida mini tool. And then I went back to Devrim and it said, good job. Get the hell out of here. I'm like, what? What do you mean get out of here? What else do I need to do? What's the next story mission? And all I could go to was the portal. And there was an event called New Territories, and it only ran for a week. So I said, okay, let's jump into the New Territories. I jumped into one of these solo. I think it was the Cabal, the Cabal one. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it was the new reclaim activity. And I'm at 403, 404 power and jumped in there and got my ass kicked. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? I want to just at least get through an activity here and have some fun, see what this is all about. And I did finally get through it. I got through all 4 areas like Devrim told me to. That was the last part of the mission. And I didn't ever want to go back. That was brutal. That was just freaking brutal, man. But that is how my Destiny Ash and Iron experience has gone so far. I've not returned to that New Territories seasonal activity. I know it only lasts a week, but I don't think I'm going to finish it. It's probably going to be the first activity that I don't even want to engage in, because it's just I actually went and even mentioned in the Discord, Kingsley, that I thought the activity was pretty fun. It was hard because I did it solo, and I realized it's a fire team op. You're supposed to run it with people. And you were like, are you kidding me? That was the most boring activity I ever ran, but I won't put words in your mouth. I'll let you explain. But how did your first day of Ash and Iron go? Just curious.
Yeah. Well, I don't equate hard to boring, so both things can be mutually exclusive. But and I do have comments on all this stuff. Yeah, it's interesting. Couple things. First of all, I kind of went in knowing that we weren't going to have any story content, because they did warn us ahead of time. No, so technically we don't have 4 seasons. We do have 4 battle pass or 4 rewards bars, but the season actually goes until Renegades. And this is called an update. Now they call it a major update, which is kind of a joke. It's called an update.
It's a season. You get a new seasonal reward pass. Let's just call it what it is. It's a new season.
Well, yeah, but if their official marketing calls a season from everything, so if you want to go on what they're calling a season, because they have the
Yeah.
name of the season too,
Yeah.
it actually goes from Kepler all the way till Renegades. So,
3
anyways,
months,
I
man.
I knew that there wasn't going to be new content. I also knew that the new location wasn't going to be anything other than in the activity because you know why they don't have enough time to give us like tons of just extra. This isn't like a DLC drop with like a they're bringing back the plague lands and we can explore around and do all this stuff. It's really just a new activity, and that's basically it.
Wow.
um I do want to say though that the activity is not going for just a week. They're just promoting it
I
this week
realize that.
in the
Yeah, it's the new
in the portal.
territories, called the new territories.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah. So
the
in case
reclaim.
anyone's thinking,
Yeah.
yeah, Reclaim will be around.
Yes.
Reclaim will be around. But my major issue, my two major, so I went in, I usually like to go in realistic and lower expectations because that's how I feel like Bungie is to us right now, at least to me.
Mm.
But even I had some disappointments that I got. Even with going in with low expectations, I was disappointed because the two things that bothered me was the way they present in the portal is just confusing to people. Because they promote so much this like go on your tier that you're in, whether it's master, GM, whatever, and do an A+ score, and that's like the only way to play because getting power. But there's sometimes where people want to play just for the experience, and I knew you can bring it down to a lower level, and you can do that too, by the way. You don't have to
Yeah.
play it on GM. You can play
Yeah.
it on the lower
Of
level
course. Yeah.
if you just want to experience
True.
it.
But you're not going to get anything
And
worthwhile,
then,
anything powerful.
well, I mean, yeah, I don't care, you know. But and then they the thing that really pissed me off though was even with it being in the fire team ops, only one of the three zones, which I'm going to give a joke about that in a second too. One of the three versions of it was match made. Like
Yep.
they're still doing this in the fire team ops area where only the top row can be auto match made
Mm.
and the ones below can't. And the only thing I can think of is like, why are they doing that? Maybe because population's so low, they don't want to match make everything.
Mm.
They're not doing it because of difficulty, because they are matchmaking GM level stuff and people are doing fine. So I don't know why only one of the new activity out of the three is match made at any given time. That's like, it's like they're just like laughing at us, like, oh, you can only play this one if you want to make it easy. Otherwise, you have to do it as a slog. Just going with the team, of course, that you bring together on your own, or which is a pain because not everyone's schedule, or play solo, and then that's a slog. It's not too bad of a slog. I actually did the other two versions of it, and I did it solo, and it's a slog. I got it done in like 45 minutes once, mostly because I got into this weird loop where ads weren't spawning enough, so it was just
Oh,
taking forever to get to
lucky
the
you.
1,000 score.
Lucky you.
Yeah. And then it was just boring. It was just freaking boring. Even when I did the matchmade version, I don't see anything interesting about this activity. I'm curious for people to think it's okay or good. Like, I'm not saying that's a bad opinion. Obviously, I'm fair about things, but I'm just curious what you think about this as fun, because it's just kind of like boring in my opinion. And the thing too is like when you do the other versions of the mission, they seem like they're giving you the same zones, but just in a different order.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems
What's
like
the
it's one.
point of having?
Seems like it's one location. Yeah.
Well, no, there's three locations, but
Yeah.
but when you're playing the activity, you go to three places anyways,
Right.
or four. I guess there's a boss area. I forget how
Yeah.
much total it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so they just seem to like be doing it in a different order each time. I'm like, that's absurd. You can't say there's three versions of the activity if it's really just the same things in different orders. Maybe I'm missing something on that, though. I'll try to be fair if I'm missing something on that. So, and then once we found out, the other thing that I was assuming, but then they told us on the stream that the exotic mission's not even coming out right away. We have to wait till October 7th.
Yep.
And that the exotic mission will probably be the highlight of the,
Right.
sure, you can call it season. I'm calling it an update. But
Mm-hmm.
of all the stuff we get till December, and maybe the Halloween event, I'm going to talk about these two things in a second, but like
Yeah.
those things will probably be the only two highlights of this whole 3-month period. Other than that, it's going to be boring, 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 at least for me.
Well, I gotta point out that the new exotic that you get with, which I had a feeling, it's the first weapon you get with the paid reward track, the new Malphus, however way you say it, the Rocket Pulse. Mm-hmm. It's outstanding. I used it the whole time. I loved it. It was worth the exotic slot because when you stuck those sticky grenades, it's a Rocket Pulse, just like the Mint Retrograde is, but it has a bonus. It actually has impact damage, but then when you hold down the reload button, they actually detonate these sticky bombs that are kind of drilled into the enemy. And I would eliminate a lot of yellow bars that way. I had fun doing that. I was quite enjoying using the new Rocket Pulse, and it is worth that exotic slot. At least to me, it is. I heard you don't get the catalyst until like level 90 on the reward pass, so it's gonna be a while before I get to that. But it's really weird, Kingsley. I should listen to you more often. You guys can clip that. I don't give a shit. You can clip that. I need to listen to Kingsley more because I'm the optimist here. I'm the one that always is like, I cannot wait. I'm going to hop on my Sparrow. I'm going to do the circle around the Plague Lands like I did in Destiny, Destiny 1, Rise of Iron. I'm going to bring back all those days, and I'm going to pass the smelt activity. I was going to pass that and wave to it. And I had all these ideas of what I was going to do and how I was going to hang out and chill out on the Plague Lands. And cause I like patrol areas. I like looking at the planets and going around and chilling and killing, as I like to say. But no Plague. They were really selling Plague Lands. And then when I logged into the game, I'm like, where the hell is the Plague Lands? Where's the common area I can go and check out? And it just wasn't there. So I feel like I got lied to. I feel like they really pushed the fact Plague Lands was coming. And then all we get's this new territories thing. That was the whole thing. The new territories activity and running the new reclaim activity. That was it. And I was like, you got to be shitting me, man. This cannot be the whole Ash and Iron update. And yes, to be honest, to be fair, yes, we are going to have the Halloween event. I want to talk about that. Don't mention it yet. They're going to have the new exotic mission, which I'm excited to play it. When it comes out, I'll play it. That's not till next month, I think.
October 7th and then 21st, respectively, for the two things. Yep.
But here's the thing, man. I said this in past shows, and I'll say it again here. The more powerful I get in Destiny 2 in the new Ash and Iron, the weaker I feel. Shouldn't that be the opposite? Shouldn't the more powerful I put in the time and get my gear score power up, shouldn't I be kicking in the door and kicking ass and taking names? No, I don't. I feel so freaking fragile when I jump into any of these. And I did jump back into the portal event. And as Maximo said today, I was so excited when I went to the solo ops and saw all these new locations to go play solo ops. And then he goes, right. There are none. What the fuck, Bungie? What the hell?
I told you that too.
Where the hell are the new solo ops activities? I'm looking. It's the same damn activities I ran when Ash and Iron released. Where the hell's the new solo ops activities? Because I'm gonna be honest. Solo ops to me was a big yes. It checked the box for me when Ash and Iron came out. I love solo ops. I love jumping in there right before work, crank out a couple solo ops missions, get some higher powered gear, either keep it or infuse it into my gear that I do want to keep. But where is it? Where are the new solo ops? They talked about they were going to adding all these activities into the portal. Did they forget solo ops? I'm confused. I'm very confused because I don't know if I'm going to be going back in solo ops. I don't know, man. I'm going to play a little bit of it, but I'm confused. I'm really confused, man.
Yeah. One thing I do want to get some clarification on, because you keep mentioning the thing about feeling less powerful when you get higher number level. Isn't it the thing though, like it's only a certain time, like around the 30s or the 70s, and then it gets easier again? Because that already happened
No,
between 200 and 300.
once you
So
hit 400, man, it is you're in the Grandmaster playlist, and every game.
okay. So it's only at 400 then, is what you're saying. Yeah, because it wasn't before, it wasn't like
It
from
gets
100
hard.
to 400, it always was linear. No, it would go up and down. It would get hard for a
Well,
bit, but then it would get easier again. Yeah.
as you move up through the playlist, whether you go from master's going to have no radar, it's going to have timed stuff. You're going to have a certain amount of revives that you have left, which according to Bungie with this new patch, I would take my time because I don't like timers. Fuck timers. I don't give a shit. I want to get the score. I'm sorry for the F words tonight. I'm a little too excited about this. The fact that I can just, I'd rather take more modifiers and just not worry about the 5 or 10% bonus for getting it done within the time. Cause that's the reason I love playing solo ops is I can do it at my pace. I know what I need to do. I can systematically take out the champions I need to take out of, but as you move up in the playlist, the modifiers in order to get a good score keep going up. The stakes keep going up. They keep going up. Sooner or later, you'll have no radar. You'll never have radar. It's never. It's just something you just have to have in the player stakes. It seems like
I know, but like things got harder at 270, but then they got easier for me again at 300. So, and I thought other people were saying that too. Now it could be true. 400 and
maybe it is
like,
maybe it is for that, but when I'm trying to increase my power further, in order to get rewarded with the higher tier gear and weapons, I have to slap on so many negative modifiers that part of the game that I love to play doesn't exist anymore. I don't know why they have boons in place for us in modifiers because you can never use them or your activity score goes down. I mean, there is something seriously wrong with the Portal and its scoring system right now. It seems like anytime I jump into a solo ops or any kind of Portal activity, because I have to play in Grandmasters now because I'm 403, I'm over 400 power. I still think I blame Datto for this. Datto mocked Bungie when the Ron raid came out, and he was mocking Bungie how easy everything was to play. And I swear to God, I think that really pissed off Bungie devs because it seems like today it's gone all the way in the other direction. You cannot have fun and play anything to grind gear now. You have to frickin' sweat every frickin' game, man. It seems like every game I jump into, Kingsley, I'll just give you an example here. I have to have, I have to play with no radar. I got to start with 0 ammo. I got to go to orbit after losing all my revives. Getting slowed when I'm punched, fire dropping from enemies when I kill them, not to mention the loads of champions and special enemies with more banes to hurt me. I think I'm just going to shoot some bad dudes in Borderlands 4 instead for a bit. I'm still working to 200 on my alt accounts, and I'll jump in and do my bounty runs with, for powerful Ingrams every week like I did before Ash and Iron dropped. But I'm good, man. I think I don't think I'm going to be worried about powering up beyond for my 403 unless Bungie seriously makes some changes. And that's why I put the TWAB after this discussion tonight, because supposedly they talk about things they're going to do, which I really can't believe what they say anymore until I see it.
This time they'll actually do it.
I'm not going to believe anything until
We're
I
not
actually
even
see
mentioning
it.
all the bugs. There's millions of bugs.
Oh my God.
That came out.
I think the scoring system in Portal right now is a bug because
they confirmed. They confirmed. Yeah.
But anyway,
they confirmed that bug along with a million others. Now I do need to say on the Ron thing, that's not the reason. That's not the easiest raid at all. Vault and DSC are easier than Ron. In fact, Ron, I keep saying this a million times. Everyone has an impression that Ron's an easy raid. No, it's just easy for the mechanics. The ad control is actually harder than a lot of other raids in that. And if it was the easiest raid, I wouldn't see raid groups trying to farm the last encounter and have issues. And I still see that all the time where they can't just farm it easily like you can on Vault of Glass. They'll fail and they'll fail and they'll fail. And then, yeah, so if it is not the easiest raid by any means. I promise you that.
Kilvin Kelvin kind of nails it in the Discord chat. He says that negative 50 delta in Grandmaster makes it an absolute slog. And by the way, I forgot to mention, it's a negative 40 or negative 50 or a negative 60 delta in order to get a score now in Grandmasters. It is utterly ridiculous to have to play at negative 60 to everything around you. That makes everything a bullet sponge. Even your red bars, you have to use finishers on just to get them out of the way. It is so ridiculous right now. Like I said, you know what? That's why I got my red hibiscus tea tonight, because I knew my blood pressure was going to shoot up. This is going to counteract it at least a little bit. But, Tajo even mentions, making lock loadouts. You can't crank activity score without having lock loadouts. I forgot to mention that you can't change any of your gear in the mid activity. And Banes are harder than champions. Yeah, they are. I have some of them that I like on the moon. I'll be standing still trying to plank away at a anti-barrier champion. And then all of a sudden the floor is freaking lava. I got to dance around. And sometimes I've even died from it, where I get trapped in a corner and I end up dying. And I'm like, well, there goes a revive. So then I have to make sure I kill that, go back and kill. See, I know a lot of people breeze through here. They don't kill any of the champions. They do whatever you have to objective wise and move on. I was watching Jixer Clyde play the other day, and man, he's really down in the dumps too. And he just breezing through the K1 area on the moon, the activity, the K1 dungeons or whatever, the lost sector. And he'll just take the back door in and not even kill any enemies. Just he'll unblock the satellite dishes and then just move on to the next one. And but I always like to get that main objective done to get the extra points, because that really is the difference between a C and a B plus or an A even. But it's just a slog, man. I don't want to play at a negative 50 delta every time I jump in to just crank out some stuff. That just is not fun to me. I mean, if I wanted to play Grandmaster Nightfalls all day, then I would have played that long ago. I don't really care to do that kind of stuff, but I don't know. Any other thoughts on this, Kingsley, as far as your first day of Ash and Iron, or first week?
The only other thing I'll say is I'm kind of having a prediction. It goes along with something else that we'll slightly talk about later, that within a year's period from now, or maybe at least a year's period from Renegade, that basically everything with powering and the portal system will be completely different or gone.
You think so? Yeah, you're staying by that statement. I remember you saying that on a couple shows ago. You think they're going to dismantle all the portal and the grinding and stuff?
Well, I don't know if I'm not saying like portal will be totally gone, but it'll be totally different. That's what I said.
See,
and the power leveling thing too, because I have to give a little preview. Power is not going to matter come Renegade for tiered weapons, and we'll get into that later. But they're already making all these changes. They're just going to revert everything, and then all this work they went into was for nothing.
I'm not even thinking about tier 5 stuff right now. I'm just trying to survive these encounters where I can at least get something for my time putting in. And like I mentioned, I think someone was talking about, value for their time in a question for the show last week. And I got to agree, man. If I'm going to spend some time, I'm an investment gamer. I like to invest my time, and for my time, I want to get something back for it. This is a looter shooter game. Let's keep that in mind. And if I'm going to play a looter shooter, I want to get some loot. And anyway, I'm not going to pile on that, but I know how Bungie can fix this. I was thinking about this today, just how miserable this whole week has been with the death of my friend, and it's been rainy all week. I just had a 100-foot oak tree knocked down out of my backyard. That was a $2,500 expense I had to come up with this week. And of course they broke my fence. My wife's garden was all trashed. I mean, it was just a nightmare. I mean, just a terrible week. But on top of that, my only hope, my only bright spot was Ash and Iron drop this week. And then what I saw day one when I jumped in, I was just flabbergasted, man. I was just totally deflated. And I really think I know how Bungie can fix this, like right now. I got to thinking about this today. The thing I'm loving right now is the fact on my alt accounts, I'm at like 135 or something on those. I'm just building them up. I can run anything. Raids, dungeons, Crucible, patrols. and get the blue. I talked about this last week. I get these blue Ingrams from the high value targets, and you'll get +3 gear. I think
up to 200. Yep.
I think what Bungie needs to do, and are you listening, Bungie? Sony, are you listening? You want me to play this game? You want people to jump back into this game like right now? You need to make everything in the game that you play a +3. Everything in the game. If I want to go do patrols and a blue Ingram falls out of a red bar dreg that I kill, it should be +3 all the way up to 500. And I think
that's another reason that the portal doesn't need to be around.
Well, here's the thing. If you want to get the new gear and the new weapons and the new tiered loot, yes, the tiered armor is a total win for me. I'm always looking at loot. I'm always looking at how I can build. The build crafting is off the charts for me right now. That's the one thing that keeps me playing this game is the build crafting possibilities are endless. And if you add in all the fragments and aspects and just everything, your subclass built in around it, tying into all that build crafting, it is a lot of fun right now. And but I think what Bungie needs to do, I'm going to say it again because I want to see if Bungie hears us. Make everything in the game. When you guys play your raid that other night, I don't know what raid you were playing. If it's not even Desert Perpetual, if you're going to play a Vault of Glass raid, every drop should be +3 that you get out of the chest in the raid, even though it's not tiered loot. It can be just regular blue. It could be a blue Ingram. It needs to be +3 so people can level up to 500 as fast as they can. And then from 500 to 550, those are where you're diehard, where you can only go into the portal areas and play the portal. Then you can go in there and play your master and ultimate, with all the modifiers and stuff built in. Then you can go in the reclaim activity that's out now and jump in there with all the modifiers and with 2 of your best friends that kick ass and go in there and just get your prime Ingrams and start leveling up to your 550. Then it's a total bragging right that you went through all these elements. But the problem is Bungie's throwing all of this high level play to just us plebs, us casuals that are just trying to get up to 500, up to at least be able to get tier 4s even right now. And I think if Bungie changed this tomorrow, I think a lot of us would keep playing because the power grind for me is fun. I know it's not for you, Kingsley. I know for a lot of people, it's not for them, but they want the story. They want to explore things, but for number go up, that works for me. But the problem is now for me to go from 403 to 404 on my character, I have to go into Portal. I have to play solo ops and I have to play it at such a high level, like a -50 delta, that I'm just miserable. Even though I know those activities in and out, I still am hitting bullet sponges. I have to go through all these new Banes that come at me. I got the airborne stuff coming at me. I don't have any ammo in any of my weapons until I find ammo crates, which I'm getting good at finding those. But it's just, Bungie needs to bring back the fun factor and the reclaim activity. If you're 500 to 550, then yeah, you need to put all those Banes and champions and all that other stuff in. Otherwise, let the reclaim activity just be fun to play. Let anybody who wants to jump in there play, and they'll get +3 for anything that comes out of the chest or anything like that, and just be done with it. I don't think they need to take apart the system, Kingsley. I just think they need what they're doing now from 10 to 200. They need to do from 10 to 500. And then when the reset comes in December in 3 months, where everyone goes back to 200, it won't be as a big a deal because the looting, the leveling up process will be so much easier, and they can play anything in the game. If I want to play Vault of Glass with 5 other people this weekend, I know that when I jump in there, I may not get the new tiered loot, but anything that falls out of that chest will give me +3 all the way up to 500. And then from 500 on, like Tajo and a lot of the guys out there that are really hardcore playing this, then start throwing all the Banes and champions and no start ammos and fire at your feet and freezing when you get punched and no radar and all that. Let them get into that, because that was what Nightfalls were. Nightfalls were those people who are really high power level and really love the challenge of doing the Nightfalls. But now everything in the game is a Nightfall. And that's you're just gonna bleed players. Players, there's too much competition now for other games to play. Bungie, you got to make it easy for people to jump in these reclaim missions. You got to make it easy for people to play anything. If they want to go farm Glimmer on Cosmodrome and get blue drops or occasional legendary drops, or open a treasure chest and you get a legendary leg piece, it should be +3. It's so easy to fix. I've said my piece.
I like your idea in theory, but I don't think it's going to happen for two reasons. But I do like it, how you presented it. One, because they put so much into the portal and they're just doing sunk cost fallacy right now. And I give them another 6 months before they admit that. And two, they kind of hinted to this because all the old raids aren't even going to be getting updated loot until probably second half of Renegades, if then.
Yeah.
They don't have the time to have all the old stuff just work all the time, having a smaller studio. That's why they made the portal, so they can just focus on small subsets of the game at a time. This is where all their focus is. They don't have time to work on everything in the game all the time anymore.
Well, I said my piece. I was thinking about it today, and I said that is really something Bungie can do right away to just stop the bleeding. Because if I want to go do patrols and turn in bounties on all the areas, let us do that. Oh, and that brings up another point. They need to put all this in Kepler. When we run in Kepler, I think a lot of the 450 guys last season said you could only get up to 300 drops on Kepler. What the hell's up with that? This is the new content. Let us get +3s up to 500 on Kepler. Anything we do in Kepler, anything we get in Kepler, it has to be +3s. That way, everybody will get up to 500. Everybody will feel like they've invested time in the game. And then if the hardcore players, like the soccers out there that want to play, the Nightfalls, the Grandmaster Nightfalls, those level players from 500 to 550, which I think should get they should get special ornaments. They should get special emblems just to show that they're the hardcore players out there. That is where you start throwing everything with the kitchen sink at you. That just makes more sense to me. But I'm at 400. I mean, I got 150 levels I got to get to just to get to the top of the hard cap right now. I don't think I care about even getting there. Not at the current system they have now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And in 6 months, it won't matter because tiered loot won't be tied to power level anymore.
Tajo had a question for me here in the Discord chat. He says, if Bungie continues on this path and making those fumbles, will you still be the last person logged in when they shut down the game, or is this stuff swayed that stance? I don't know, man. I don't know if I'll be the last player. I mean, I love this game. That's why I bitch and moan about it on my podcast. But yeah, I love the grind. But Solstice, that was a ton of fun. I logged in every day. I played for hours in Solstice because they were giving +1 loot. They were giving +1 level loot in anything when we ran the portal stuff, and that was fun. But now that if you hit 400, Kingsley, any of you who are at 300s right now and are trying to get to 400, you'll know what I'm talking about here very soon when you get graduated. I think it's 380. You get graduated into the Grandmaster playlist. That's a -20 already. And you'll find to get that grade A, to get the highest tier loot possible, you'll find out what you got to do it. And it's just demoralizing, man. It really is. Anyway, I want to talk about, they mentioned in the live stream also the Haunted Altars, the 6-player PvE activity, that there's not going to be any more Haunted Lost Sectors. They're going to be bringing out a 6-player PvE activity called Haunted Altars. Did you have any insight on what you thought about that, Kingsley? I have some comments, but I want to see what you have to say.
No, other than I'm freaking excited. This, of all the things like I have realistic or low expectations on, this was one small thing that they blew my mind on. A lot of us were guessing that the Halloween event would not have any activity at all, just kind of like Solstice, right?
Right.
Well, they go a 360 and bring us a new activity. And not only that, it's a 6-player activity. I'm freaking excited. I love 6-player activities. I may be grinding that some, no, not necessarily grinding for any. When I say grinding, I mean experiencing the activity multiple times.
Well,
Maybe if there's a good piece of weapon,
yeah.
I go for it also a little bit. But yeah, to experience it, I'm going to be checking that out for sure.
Not only that, they brought a PvP mode called Red Rumble
Oh
that's
yeah,
coming out. That's going to be
yeah.
part of the 2-week event as well. So, and that's another thing, man. These events that last 1 week, what is up with that? I think 2 weeks is a good amount of time. And any
Yeah,
less than that,
that's
and
true.
if you have a really shit work
What's the
week,
point if it's less? Yeah.
you're missing a lot of players there that might want to jump in and play that stuff. But I'm mixed about this haunted altars because here lies the problem again for the solo player. I would rather go play haunted lost sectors and farm them for loot and to get whatever materials I needed to, move my track along and get the new mask or whatever it is. But now it seems I'm going to have to play in a 6-player activity in order to enjoy myself in Festival of the Lost. And it might be the opposite effect for me. I may actually either bow out or just have a night where a bunch of us just jump in and start playing the activity. I don't know how I feel about this, but I was a little worried about that because unless they make a single player version of this activity, I don't know. Not everybody has a 6-player fire team that
No,
they
it's
can
auto
put
match
together.
made. It's going
It's
to be
match
auto
made.
match made.
I realize it's match
Yeah.
made. I understand it's match made, but I've not had the best luck with matchmaking. I know. We've been over this in the past shows, but I'm not a fan of matchmaking. I'm not. I'd rather jump in with 5 other friends of mine that I can BS with and have fun with. But when people don't even know, like the reclaim activity, I'll give you for instance, people jump into that match made. Some people don't have no clue what they're even supposed to do. Or some people may be running around looking for the data pads and bow out and just bail. There's a lot of problems you can get with matchmaking against randos. And I'm just cringing just thinking of this activity.
Yeah, you chalk that up way too much. Like in all my, I match make way more than you, and I'd say it's a bad experience at most 20% of the time.
You know what I'm gonna do? I
It
might
works.
stream it one
Well,
night.
you know.
One night I might just stream the reclaim activity if I'm playing it, and just publicly show my experience with random 6-player events and see what happens.
Well, that's a three-player
That's a 3-player event.
activity.
So yeah,
Right, yeah.
I'm just curious because I've been watching streamers doing matchmaking as well, and they've had their ups and downs with it as
Taja
well.
agrees with my 20% comment. Thank you, Taja.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, 20%. That's still too high for dealing with
No, it's not.
griefers
It's
and
not too high.
people don't know what they're doing, and killing all the enemies before the objectives are done and not getting the score you need.
If Bungie could have 20% less bugs, we would all be happy.
Yeah.
20%.
Well,
Yeah, not that
any
much.
other comments on the Ash and Iron based part of the live stream, Kingsley?
No. It's not affecting me as much because still, even though some things surprised me on the bad side, I went in knowing that I wasn't expecting much from this update, and then I'll look forward to coming back in October for the exotic mission,
Mm-hmm.
and then definitely for the Halloween event. I may not like the 6-player activity. I've liked most 6-player activities in the game, but I haven't liked every single one. So we'll see when it comes.
Okay. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk about the positive things from the live stream event. Be right back.